And we are live here from Southern National Motorsports Park in, I don't know, my telemetry's saying Kenley, North Carolina. So we're going to go with that. But it is the season finale of the Road and Plate Summer Series. We're going to crown a champion here tonight. Matt Slosher, he sits in that top position in points. Can he claim the championship? That is a question we are going to have answered here tonight. I'm Joshua Coppernoll. I'm joined with Olivia Hayward. Olivia, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's always a good time when we get to crown another champion. Of course, that means I've got my spreadsheet ready. I'll be keeping you updated as we go through. Again, it is 25 points available for the sprint race, 42 for the feature if you win and you lead the most laps. Margin between the entire top four as things stand is just 20 points, with Schlosser leading McCoy by 13, Moore just 1 point back from him, and then Borley down in fourth, 6 points adrift of Moore.
Now, I want to point out, we're looking right now at 13 drivers that are registered, I do believe. At least my ticker is showing 13. So it's looking more and more in favor of Matt Slosher. However, there's still a lot of points on the line, and anything can happen. I've seen crazier things happen in well, just really anything. So it's not really a lock at all for Slosher. He's still got to go out and earn it, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see what he is able to do. Currently P4 on the practice charts right now.
Yeah, and especially with the sprint races being run without caution, it means that if he gets caught up in something, it could knock him down into sort of 11th, 12th place. That immediately wipes out the entire advantage, because if one of the other drivers can take the win, they are going to be right there with him, and it'll be sort of a straight shootout as we get into the feature race. So Matt definitely has the upper hand, but it's about staying out of trouble. Giving up a position will cost you 1 or 2 points, 2 points per position in the feature. You can maybe give one of those up if it means you keep your car in one piece, because that is the main goal of tonight for Matthew Slosser in the number 400.
Yeah, I actually completely forgot about the no cautions in the sprint race. I'm glad you reminded me about that. The last oval I was away for, you were running the show that night, and yeah, just this is like the third oval of the season, just a short 6-week season, 3 ovals, 3 road courses, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it even stresses more how you need to stay clean, and I like that. Give up one position if it means keeping the car clean. Checker flag is flying for qualifying, and we are going to head into the sprint race. It looks like Aaron Smith has the pole for tonight's sprint race. So let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup. Maybe. Starting on the pole, it is Aaron Smith, as mentioned. James Moore is going to start in second. Third, Dustin Bally. Matt Slosher will start in fourth. Fifth, it is Michael McCoy. And Samuel Stoner starts sixth. Seventh, Chuck Labano. Tom Wendt in 8th. Jay Bass will start 9th, and Laura Wiseman will start 10th.
I think our final row will be Aaron Bray and Sean Johnson, and then Derek Paquette actually just back into the session. Hopefully we'll be able to take the start there, and we will have a field of 13 to roll through for tonight's race. Aaron Smith had a great season, isn't in our championship fight, but has 3 wins in the 6 starts that he has made in this season. So it would be up there if he'd have run a full schedule for sure. And one of those did come at Landley at the last short track. Actually, it's one of the last 3 races in a row that he's run, so he's going to look to try and make it 4 from the pole here today.
Going to be interesting to see if he's able to do so. He is a race car driver that you cannot count out. Super fast, super smart, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he fares tonight at this racetrack.
And this is a short track, 4/10 of a mile. Very close quarters here tonight, and we saw some tempers flare after Landley, so drivers going to have to keep a cool head here with the pressure on. Come through 1 lap, and then we'll be underway for a 15-minute timed race. Again, no cautions expected. We're going to about 60 laps in those 15 minutes.
It looks like Michael McCoy did not take the grid. So McCoy will start from pit road. Pace car is in. Aaron Smith inside the restart zone. We are green here at Southern National in a, I think,
The missed there for James Moore, I think.
yeah.
Completely stacked up the outside line. And a little bit of damage maybe coming through for Matt Schlosser, who was directly behind. He's currently shuffled to the outside groove, and that is not the start he would have wanted. It's a dream start for Aaron Smith, though. He's got that breakaway, and Dustin Borley from the inside of row number 2 is now in pursuit.
Side by side for third place between Labano and Moore. Labano stuck on that outside line, but he is trying to power to stay side by side with Moore. Slosher nowhere to go. He is looking for some place to get around these 2 drivers. Labano,
And you almost do have to just wait for them to unpick the battle. Try and choose the right lane. You see Schlosser now lots through on the inside once they form up single file and move straight through into the 4th position. But while they're in their own fight, you can't really do anything. Going 3 wide is not going to be a sensible move.
No, this track, it looks pretty wide. I've never driven on this track. But I can guarantee you that, you don't want to be really even too wide here. You're going to lose so much momentum being on that outside line. So, bottom, I think, is the place to go.
Yeah, I mean, you're just adding on so much more distance compared to, the 4/10 of a mile you normally have on a bigger road, but you can sort of carry that momentum a bit more and get away with it. But here, very much that bottom line is going to be valuable real estate. Matt Schlosser has made it through on that inside line on James Moore into the podium positions. Has Borley and Smith ahead, of course, only Borley a championship rival, and is actually the furthest one adrift, so great positioning here for Matt despite the damage on the front end.
I'm really impressed. Borley staying right here with Smith. I mean, he's there. He is close enough to where he might be able to give a bumper to Aaron Smith. If you're Aaron Smith right now, I mean, are you doing a lot of mirror driving? Are you just focused out front?
Knowing Aaron, I wouldn't be surprised if this is running as slowly as possible while keeping the lead, keeping a hold of those tyres so that at the end of the race, you can start to make that break for it. I don't think if you're Dustin Borley, you want to try and put the bumper right now. We're only about 3 minutes into this race on lap 13 of a projected 59. If you make a move like that now, Aaron's got time to get back to you and give the ship twice as hard, and I don't think that's what Borley wants in this position right now.
No, I agree with you. Dustin Borley He's doing a great job. He is tucked right up underneath Smith. I think he's going to school right now, learning. Trying to find a weakness of Smith. You're not going to find one very easily with Smith.
No, I mean, is known as a bit of a road course specialist, but has shown plenty of promise on these ovals as well. It's just that sort of situation where they're so good on the road course that you kind of forget how good they could be here. But it is a look to the inside here for Dustin Borley. Smith not able to close the door. And you can see just how strong that inside groove is. Gains about half a car length just through that corner. And is going to look to try and complete the move here. But actually, Smith's done a great job on the outside lane. Of course, the inside is going to warm up that surface. And Smith able to fight for a while, but has to go for the crossover now. Looks back to the inside. And Dustin Borley going to be under pressure, but isn't it pick up that lap lead?
It's a great job out of Smith to get the crossover. Now Dustin Borley driving it so hard off the corner. Try to hold on to that race lead. This is actually bringing Slosher into the picture. Slosher's just saying, stay side by side like you guys are. I'll be there in just a second.
Yeah, we did obviously get to talk to Aaron at the short course at Landley, and he said sort of as he was running, especially the feature race, that he didn't really want to move anyone out the way. He didn't want to try and have an impact on the championship, but of course, if you're in the battle for the lead and the drivers around you are all in their own fight, then there's always going to be some impact you're going to have. And Aaron Smith fighting for this position and going to gain it back here. Can Borley get the crossover?
He does.
If they don't get this resolved, then Matt is going to be there, and he's going to start to make this a three-car tango.
Borley looked like he missed the bottom a little bit there through 1 and 2. Still running side by side. I think this is kind of like, a situation where you're going to have to try to get an inch at a time. You're not just going to make the pass happen very quickly or very easily. So just gain a little bit, like an inch at a time. However, Derek Fiquette is right in front of them. And going to be a factor here.
That's a wounded race car as well. There was instant down at turn number 4, spinning to the inside barrier. And that car definitely not looking in the best shape, but is going to maybe... Okay, now a tyre's out of the way, realises that it was such a difficult spot there in the rearview mirror. Aaron Smith, I think, is going to be able to use that to just clear Dustin Borley for the lead of the race. We are on lap 27 here, and these two are side by side for it feels like the entire run so far.
It's been incredible. I am very impressed with Borley's pace here. To stay with Smith and for Slosher and Moore to run them down. Labano, too, not that far behind. I mean, this is just bringing everybody right back together. This is incredible.
Yeah, a great run for Aaron Smith fighting that one back. Of course, Borley picked up that second position and has led a couple of laps here. But we've got 4 cars, and Chuck Labano is still hanging on here. It could make this a 5-car fight as we get into the second half of this sprint race. And they've kept it pretty clean so far. No one making really all that much contact aside from a little bit of door rub in the middle of the corners. Are things going to change as we start to get towards that checkered flag?
I think Laura Wiseman had some issues. Laura Wiseman now going to go a lap down.
Oh yeah, and a little bit of contact with Aaron Gray down at turn 4. Made sure the 11 got out ahead after that little tap, but it means that Laura's now getting swallowed up by this lead quintet and is going to try and get out of the way as much as possible. It's kind of a little bit stranded on the low side right now.
Top three still all under a blanket. Dustin Bally, he needs to get a little bit closer to Aaron Smith. Try again to get underneath that Banana Man. We have officially, well, wait for it, 6 minutes left on the clock. About 25 laps to go.
And one thing to keep in mind for a race like this, these cars, I think, if you sort of run the rookie series, they'll run 40 laps here. We're getting towards that lap number right now. So you start to get into real uncharted territory in terms of how much tyre wear or particularly tyre heat you're building up in a long run like this. Drivers who have managed their stuff a little bit better will be finding a little bit more performance here towards the closing stages of this race. The lappers here up front ahead of Aaron Smith. They're fighting for position. They're in fact fighting for the reverse grid pole position. As a heavy hit from Dustin Bawley into the wall. Dustin Bawley, that suspension gone down. He is going to be out of this one, pulling into pit lane. And that is a disaster for the 24's championship hopes.
Oh yeah, that was a hard hit. You saw the damage to the right front of his machine. And now it is Matt Slosher in second place. Aaron Bray between Slosher and the leader, Aaron Smith. Slosher is able to get past Aaron Bray.
And that incident has spread out those leaders that little bit. Bawley was kind of connecting that lead trio with the group behind, and sort of as that unfolded, and especially when you get into those laps as well, it means that Smith and Schlosser have a little bit more breathing room, and just more importantly, Matt has a clear shot now at Aaron Smith without having to take on both cars at once. So might try and engineer a move here as we get into these final 15 laps of the race. This is where you can start to use a little bit more, get into their rear bumper, giving them a little bit of push out the corner if need be, because they're not going to have as much time to get back to you.
And I'm watching the lap times by these two drivers. A couple laps ago, Aaron Smith was faster than Slosher. A couple laps in a row. This time, Slosher faster than Smith. A couple of laps.
Yeah, and these lap
row.
times are down about half a second from where they were at the start of this race. Doesn't sound like a lot, but at a 15-second track, that is a pretty significant chunk of time. That shows how much these tyres are struggling as we get into the late stages of this one.
Yeah, for sure. Slosher and Smith running very similar lap times as well. Slosher still continuing to be faster. You see him now on the back bumper of Aaron Smith, but again, we talked about it. This is a place where you have to kind of inch your way forward. So what does Slosher do? Do you show him the bump and run? Do you try to do it without making any contact? See if you can get underneath him. Smith has an opportunity to really drive it on the outside.
I mean, I think if you're Matt here, you're probably thinking bigger picture. You're thinking, again, it's 2 points more for getting that position. Do I want to risk getting the car all torn up? We saw what happened to Bawley, had to come down pit lane for a fast repair, just from overcooking it in that battle, really. Matt does not need that. He can essentially put one hand on the championship, even just hold on to second place here. I think he might just settle behind, and unless a big opportunity appears to get around Aaron Smith, then he's happy just sitting behind and letting this clock run out.
Tom went right in front of them. Tom went in the 8th position with looks like 8 laps to go here. Let's see what kind of pressure Smith puts on Went. Is Went going to pull over, go a lap down? Does he want to stay on the lead lap? This could play a big factor.
Yeah, lap is always an opportunity. Matt has a look to the inside now because of that. But Aaron Smith able to close that door, come across the nose without a big trouble. We got a bit of an instant down in turn number 1 here. Again, no cautions. The car's going to come through. Slow cars up on the high side, and Aaron Smith able to duck low. Matt doing the same. This is a battle for position for the other 3 cars, so they are going to be super aggressive for 6th place, especially Michael McCoy, who is still hoping for a little bit of that championship fight. But both cars get through down into the final minute of action here. We are going to have, I believe, 3 laps left to go here. And we will see whether Matt can get back there, but I think Aaron might have this one in the bag.
I think you're right. I don't think this is the white flag.
I also don't think it is. We'll see as the leaders come through, and there's the white flag. One more lap here at Southern National. Aaron Smith got some lap traffic to deal with once again, but not too much trouble. It'll be win number 4 on the season for Aaron Smith, but it was hard fought. He had to fend off a lot of competition on that one. Great work. Matt Schlosser finishes in 2nd with James Moore behind in 3rd.
Yeah, that was incredible. Battles that he had to hold off from Slasher and Bali. Great job to Aaron Smith. We'll see if we can talk to Aaron Smith. Hey Aaron, fancy meeting you up here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so you didn't lead wire to wire, however, you led almost all of those laps. It was an incredible battle between yourself and Bali, as well as Slosher there towards the late stages of this race. What was it like out there for you?
It gave off those old Bristol vibes. Like, you had to stay on the bottom, but you could hold your own on the outside if you pitched the guy on the bottom enough. And yeah, Dustin and I had a really good race, as you mentioned. I don't know what happened to him, but that was unfortunate that he got taken out in something. But yeah, Matt got up to me, and we had a little battle of our own there. I think he looked on me there, and I cut his nose off or something like that. So I'll have to cut him a break here in the next race. But yeah, it was fun. I like the no cautions for these races. I don't feel like we would have had one anyway, but it was a lot of fun.
So I mentioned at one point that, you know, with the close racing that you had, were you doing a lot of mirror driving or just all focus forward?
There was a little bit of mirror driving there. I kept to my line. I wasn't like blocking for this purpose of blocking, but yeah, it was. I had to look in my mirror quite a bit because I wasn't sure if I was going to get dive bombed or whatever. But the inside was my goal the whole race, and I was able to keep it down there for the most part. So looking forward to seeing how this future will go.
All right. Sponsors, shout outs. Who gets it done for you?
Well, I'd like to thank the folks at Road and Plate for having me this season. I didn't get to run the whole season, so I won't be in a factor in the championship here. But yeah, we'll see what comes of it. It looks like it's a pretty close race. I'll try not to be that much in the way, but I'd like to thank the folks in the field for putting on a good show every week. Y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. If I don't get back up here again, it's been a fun season.
All right. Well, congrats on the sprint win, and we'll let you get back to it.
10-4, thank you.
That was Aaron Smith, the Banana Man, taking the win in the sprint race.
That is going to bring us right into the feature broadcast. 35 minutes now on the clock. Cautions back in play. If we have a big incident, we'll bring the field back together. But it's going to be an interesting strategy call there because we have a short field. It means cautions are going to be less likely, which means we're expecting to have a required fuel stop within this one. The tanks are not quite able to go the full 35 minutes.
It's going to be fun to see the strategy that plays out here tonight. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look at our starting lineup for the feature. And it is going to be Wiseman on the pole with Aaron Bray to her outside. Tom Wendt will start third, Samuel Stoner in fourth, Michael McCoy will start fifth, and Sean Johnson starts sixth. Olivia.
Yeah, Chip Labano will start in 7th place with James Moore in 8th. He's now 16 points behind Matt Schlosser, who starts in 9th. Definitely championship favourite at this point, as Aaron Smith alongside, of course, race winner, starts from the 10th position back here. And we have Jay Bast, Dustin Borley, and Derek Faquette, your final contenders in this one. Unfortunately, with that incident in the sprint race, Borley is mathematically out of championship contention. So it is going to be a 3-horse fight here between Matt Schlosser, it's going to be James Moore, and then Michael McCoy, 21 points adrift. It's going to need a minor miracle. But anything could happen here.
I just want to point out, I hope Dustin Bally realizes his wheel is pointed to the right before he starts to go.
Oh no. I think there'd be enough time to realize there's quite a big distance out to the wall there.
Yeah.
But
it just might catch him off guard a little bit. And there's nobody directly behind him.
See how it goes. About to get rolling, I think, for our 2 pace laps. See if we get any more throughout the course of the race. But we are getting ready for action for the final time here in the Road and Plate Summer Series. And there we go, does get the wheel corrected. All 13 drivers safely off and away. 35 minutes on the clock to decide a champion here at Southern National.
So just like the sprint race, going to be 2 pace laps, as is always the case at a short track. So now we got 1 to green, and these guys will be turned loose for however many laps it takes to get it done in the 35 minutes that we will see here tonight. I just want to remind everybody, however many laps it says on the ticker, don't trust that. Pace car is in. We're racing here at Southern National.
We're 3 wide down here in 1 and 2. Big jump for Michael McCoy. Is the pinch? Tom Wendt is going to spin to the outside, and we are already out under caution. Who are the drivers involved in that one? Looks like Johnson, Wendt, and Stoner. The 3 big names caught out in that.
Let's see what the blimp saw. Michael McCoy involved as well, but I think very, very, very minor, if anything.
Yeah, just not such a good initial start, I think, that got into that 3 wide position, and I think Tom Wendt just not quite aware of the situation. Didn't quite leave enough room. The 33 just had nowhere to go. Sort of pinched the 2 cars towards each other. And unfortunately, Sean Johnson was caught up behind that and is carrying a little bit of damage as well. Those 3 all pit. And so does Aaron Smith, who I think might be taking this opportunity to make sure that the fuel can go to the end if we do stay green from here. Stationary for 10 seconds. So I don't lose being at the tail end of the field already. Nobody else pits except for those three who I believe have all come in to fit some quite heavy damage from that first incident.
So lights on the pace car. Our outfield is 2x2 as they are coming out of turn 4. We are inside the restart zone once again very quickly. Green flag back out. Wiseman wasted no time.
Oh, and it's a whittle for Chuck Lobato in the corner. Beard set up a little bit of contact. Everyone keeps it pointed forwards. And that moves James Moore up into second place. Matt Schlosser up into fourth. These are your top two in the championship. And Moore needs a strong result here, so it's absolutely putting the best foot forwards. Unfortunately, he needs Matt Schlosser to have a bad time. And he's now up into third place, right behind the number 12.
And also, I want to just point out, 10 drivers on lead lap. Sean Johnson, Tom Wendt. They are, well, Johnson 1 lap down, Wendt 3 laps down. Stoner in the pits currently. Tom Wendt actually coming down pit road now as well. Going to be harder for Moore to gain an advantage on Slosher if anything were to happen to Slosher. With
yeah, 7th place,
cars.
Matt, would guarantee the championship from here, regardless of how well Moore does. And like I said, only 10 on the lead lap. I think it could be Wendt and Stoner as retirements potentially, both back in the pit lane. Jobson waiting for that lucky dog. If we get another caution, would deal him back onto the lead lap.
So drivers currently spread out, a little comfortable right now. Aaron Bray currently 7th place. He's got Jay Bass directly behind him. And then it's Sean Johnson. Once again, the lap car. Johnson actually going to take a look underneath Bass.
Has a long way to try and race this lap back, but you also don't want to get caught behind someone if you think you're faster, because with how a lot of green flag run could be here, 1 lap could turn into 2, and at that point you're in real danger of never seeing the light of the lead lap once again. Aaron Smith working his way around Derek Paquette. Again, Smith pit, got that additional fuel, and so is looking to try and maybe go to the end of the race from here.
Tom Lane coming back down pit road. Stoner looks like he has retired from the event officially. So 12 positions. 12 cars still in it, sort of, depending on what Tom Wendt is doing.
Tom Wendt is not having a good time, having trouble on an off-pit road, and I think has picked up some damage that means that is going to be a second retirement on the day. As I'm also missing Aaron Bray from our timing screen right now. May have had a little bit of connection issues. We'll see if he's able to come back and join, but they are dropping like flies here, and this is going to mean that lowest possible position for Matt to finish. It keeps moving higher and higher.
James Moore
go for a move here. Knows that a win is the best chance that he's going to have. Those lap lead points are going to be pretty important as well. Moves to the inside of Laura Wiseman. Gets clear. Will lead lap number 20. But now look at the number 400 following straight through on the inside line. The gap got opened. That made sure to follow and is now in second position. Once again putting all of the pressure on James Moore in the lead.
And how about Dustin Bally, who's currently taking a peek underneath Wiseman for third? Still out here trying to race for a win. Gonna get clear of third. I think Bally might be a little bit quicker than Slosher and more.
Yeah, I mean, we did see in that sprint race how much pace the 24 had. Just couldn't ever get clear with distance from Aaron Smith. Just always threatened again with crossover once he got the car ahead. But has Moore and Schlosser ahead here, might be able to fight his way through those two and go for the race lead. We are 7 minutes into our running here, 25 laps completed after that early caution. And we could get a lot more running here because now the field's spread out. Now we've only got 10 cars, or 11 cars out on the racetrack. A caution is going to be pretty difficult to bring back, I think.
Especially running single file like this. And it's pretty much what you don't see is drivers spread out. This is the closest anybody is to anybody right now. And it would be Dustin Bally with Slosher. Of course, Wiseman not far behind Bally and Moore not far ahead of Slosher. And I see McCoy kind of stalking in the background a little bit.
And I'm really curious what sort of fuel situation these drivers are in, how difficult it is to make it to the end, and whether Aaron Smith was able to play a strategy gamble with that pit stop under the early caution. I think how this might work is that the set is limited on fuel, but the car's fuel tank is not capped. And so, on that early caution, he was able to take a significant amount of fuel, sort of get the car closer to full. It might be just enough to make this 35 minutes.
Last week, Aaron Smith had a strategy that blew my mind, and that was to pit on lap 1. And I thought it was crazy. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. But once I kind of figured it out, I thought it was crazy, and I didn't think it would work. Newsflash, it worked.
Yeah, and that would have been a similar situation. Winning the first race, getting put into a grid invert to the tail end of the field, and using that to take yourself out of the traffic, I think is the crucial thing. So very smart to try and use that once again. Of course, does have the cars ahead, but has the benefit of caution to bunch the field back up so that he only loses track position and not sort of a lap or two taking that green flag fuel stop. At the front of the field, Schloss under pressure here from Dustin Bally, getting sort of shuffled back in by James Moore, who is just blocking that entire road up ahead. No way around for the 400 right now. Dustin going to try and find a way through into that second position if he can.
This is incredible. Slosher trying to play offense and defense at the same time. Bally actually is able to get it to the outside of Slosher, and he's going to make it work. Bally clears Slosher for second place by passing him on the outside.
That was a great move, and I've got to wonder. I wonder if James Moore is trying to pull a sort of 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix sort of strategy. If you're not familiar with that race, it was a situation where the driver winning wasn't enough. They needed the rival to finish, I think, third or lower. And so just started dropping the pace in the late laps, hoping that someone could get the move done to overtake. It didn't work out this time, but if Moore needs a miracle, I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to sow a little bit of chaos behind and hope that Matt Schlosser ends up getting in a little bit of trouble.
That is pretty interesting. I do not watch F1, so I had no idea what you're talking about. That is pretty interesting.
We've seen sort of controversies happen with sort of teammates as recently as last week. There was some whispers of it potentially in NASCAR, but of course when it's one-on-one you can still play that game, because if you're the one running slow yourself, the other driver can always just get around you, and at that point your entire strategy's gone kaput. So it's a very fine balance if you want to play that game of keeping the car behind while still trying to funnel them back towards more opposition.
They are working through lap traffic. So it was Aaron Bray and Sean Johnson. Both already lapped cars. Not far up the road, it is Derek Fouquet, who is on a lead lap. This is incredible. I mean, still, once again, incredible how these guys are nose to tail like this. And it's not just with Aaron Smith and, Dustin Bawley pulling away from everybody else like it was in the sprint race. I mean, you have so many drivers nose to tail right now.
Yeah, this lead group has the top 5 plus 3 lapped cars who are being shuffled down through the field. 6th and 7th, that's Smith and Labano, are not far behind at all.
Oh,
Smith
contact!
For the lead.
More
holds on to it. They bounce off each other again. Bawley will slot through for the race lead. And I think there's the carnage that could start to play this one, because I am sure Moore is not thrilled about the way that Bawley got around. As you can see, trying to look for that rear bump, just overcuts it in turns 3 and 4. And it gives number 24 the breathing room that he needs to pull away.
Wow. I don't know how Moore held on to that. Twice. And for him to only be in 2nd place right now, that is incredible.
Yeah, that was a great save. There was contact with the wall, so could be a little bit of damage potentially. Which is a great job keeping the car in the fight. Now he is under direct pressure from Matt Schlosser, as well as Sean Johnson still holding on here. Might want to try and get one of those laps back. Has 3 of the fastest drivers on the track right in front.
Side-by-side battle back here between McCoy and Smith. Smith is going to get clear. But 15 minutes down, 20 to go. 20 minutes, that is, from Southern National.
And the margins are just so tight right now. I think that is what we saw for that piece of contact. It was just the sort of tip of the nose for Dustin Bawley there. Had it alongside, he felt, and Moore tried to get back down to the inside line. And with how close these cars are running, those millimeter margins are going to start to play a factor more and more. Sean Johnson was so close to the back of championship leader Matt Schlosser, just trying to pick a way around, but knowing how, I mean, you don't want to be the lapped car that gets into a leader.
No, not at all. And, the other thing is, if you're Johnson, you want to be even more careful, because, you'd hate to spin him out.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare here. A little bit further back, Aaron Smith working on Laura Wiseman gets that move done into the 4th position. And remember, we think Smith might have a pit stop advantage on these drivers ahead, but he wants to try and win this one on the racetrack. as we come through to finish off lap number 60, just approaching the halfway point of our race here. And Aaron's already back up into the 4th position and is within 2 seconds of your race leaders.
This is pretty incredible what Aaron Smith's able to do. Eight cars still on lead lap. Jay Bast is the only driver that's on an island of his own, really. He would be the next one to go a lap down.
And one thing I will say, as much as we were sort of theorising about potential strategies side by side for the race lead, James Moore has gotten back to the inside of Dustin Borley and will clear off turn 2. Borley goes for the look down into turn 3, but is covered off. And in fact, he's going to pull down into pit lane here. So this is going to kick off the pit stop cycle for our race leaders. Dustin Borley pulls in, likely to at least 1 lap down with this pit stop, potentially in danger of going a second down. It leaves James Moore back in the race lead with Matt Schlosser just behind. I thought that Borley was going for a crossover move there and then suddenly dives down into pit lane.
It really looked like that he was, and he is still sitting in pit road. Finally gets released. He is 2 laps down at this point. So the thing that, the good news for Bali is everybody's got a pit, and everybody's going to probably spend the same amount of time down pit road. The bad news, if you're Bali, if there is a yellow, you're now 2 laps down, and you're not in the free pass position.
Yeah, you're out of this one if it's another caution. It's a very dangerous situation to be in. Let everyone get their pit stop out of the way, and so there'll be no more real cycling through. You might get a 1 back on a wave around, but you're still then stuck 1 lap down. You've got to hope for another caution. Meanwhile, the leaders continue on a little bit longer. We expect these drivers can probably do another 5 minutes or so at least before they have to make the pull down pit road. Matt Schlosser looking for that race lead is going to give a little bit of the bumper to James Moore in the lead. Bats out of it. See Aaron Smith clear the laps car up into the 3rd position. He is knocking on the door of this lead battle right now.
Yeah, that's incredible. These top 3, Moore, Slosher, and Smith, under a blanket for the race lead. Now, they all have to pit. We do believe they all have to pit.
Maybe not Aaron Smith. He might be good on fuel here.
I don't know. I mean, he's got 3 laps of an advantage.
It's not about... You could fail past what the car started with in that pit stop, I think. And that's why he made that call when he did. Because the setup has a starting amount of fuel, but there's more available if you want it. James Moore is going to pull down into pit lane here. Aaron Smith will get cycled out to the lead of the race. We'll see whether the 70 does have to make that call in the final 15 minutes. Matt Schlosser, through all of that, actually hasn't led a lap yet today, and I'm keeping an eye on that because that could be an important bonus point. As it stands right now, though, has spent an awful long time in 2nd place in this one.
Yeah, he has. But the good news for him is the championship will still happen if you finish 2nd place no matter what. And so, it's just stay consistent, stay clean, and they'll take the championship.
It'll be an insurance policy, if nothing else, I think. And one thing I'll say that maybe suggests that Smith might not be good on fuel here. He only stopped for 10 seconds in that initial stop. We've seen other drivers make pit stops of 16 seconds for Michael McCoy. We saw 33 seconds stationary for Dustin Borley. Laura Wiseman pulled down pit lane for a pit stop as well. It leaves just these two on the lead lap, on lap number 80, as we try and roll through and see who has to make that call. Whether Aaron Smith maybe needs to make a stop, maybe can take a little bit less fuel, and that's where the advantage lies.
I cannot figure this out at all, but it looks like Slosher is coming in pit road. So that's going to leave just Aaron Smith as the only driver. Make that Smith and Fouquet as the only drivers that have yet to come down pit road. Smith, the only one that's going to be on the lead lap.
And Moore and McCoy are running nose to tail right now. They're fighting for their position. They don't make sure to not bring a caution out, because that would hand the race win over to Aaron Smith. He'd be able to get anything he needed sorted, and everyone else would be trapped laps and laps down. Schlosser gets rolling. It was a 27-second stop for the 400 as well. Similar to what we saw from James Moore. And he cycles out currently in the 6th position. That's an Aaron Smith. No, I thought that was a call to come into pit lane. It might still be. And it will be a pit stop for Aaron Smith, so can't go all the way to the end. We'll see where he cycles out, and this should bring a lot of our runners back onto the lead lap. We'll see how long the stop is for the number 70. 5 seconds, and it's going to be tyres. Is up on the Jats on the right-hand side. Does he go for the left sides as well? No, it doesn't. I'm not seeing the left side go up.
I didn't either.
It's a long stop though, 23, 24 seconds. So matching what we saw from Schlosser and Moore, Sean Johnson took a 10-second shorter stop and is now cycled out into your race lead in the number 32 car. Aaron Smith has exited in 2nd place, with Moore, McCoy and Schlosser rounding out your top 5. Back to 7 cars on the lead lap as we get in towards the final 10 minutes of action here for the Road and Plate Summer Series.
This is crazy. Just season finale coming out of this. And, I don't know, Aaron Smith, he took 2 tires. I think he's going to be able to run down Sean Johnson.
I mean, I think he has a chance regardless of the tyre situation. It's been so fast all day long. I think it's Johnson and McCoy who had the shorter stops there, so maybe opted for fuel only potential. But we mentioned how difficult the tyres can be in a long run. If heat for nothing else, I think Johnson and McCoy hoping the time on pit road is a chance for the tyres to cool off a little bit, and that'll give them more performance towards the end of the race. But Aaron Smith gained half a second last lap. Aaron Smith to the inside of Laura Wiseman, putting through, and now it's going to have a shot at Sean Johnson. How long can the 32 defend on what we think is old tyres? Aaron Smith goes for the crossover, gets the nose to the inside, and makes it look easy with that move. The number 70 back to the race lead, looking for win number 5 on the season.
Okay, so the answer to your question is about 5 seconds. And Johnson actually coming down pit road.
Oh, hang on. Johnson pit under the first caution, so still had to take a pit stop.
Yes.
That's how he cycled through to the race lead, so now is taking service. We had Matt Schlosser cut his way past Michael McCoy. McCoy now in the pits as well. And he did take a green flag pit stop there. But maybe really struggling on those tyres because then we think that was a fuel-only stop for the 33. And maybe had a tyre go down, potentially, in turn 1 and 2.
The only other thing I could think of would be that maybe he didn't get enough fuel in the car.
Potentially.
But yeah, not a pit stop that he would have wanted to make.
No, now it sits 2 laps down. And we are down to 5 on the lead lap. Barno and Borley are closest battle on track right now. They are nose to tail for that 4th position. Aaron Smith running away with it with a great cycle through the pits and is pushing on those fresher tyres. Moore and Schlosser starting to come together for that battle for 2nd as Chuck Barno slides to the inside of Dustin Borley and moves up into that 4th position.
Aaron Smith is half a track ahead, of James Moore.
And he's gaining. It was a 15.4 last time by, compared to a 15.9 for James Moore. So finding some huge speed on those new tyres. Moore and Schlosser run, again, half a track behind in 2nd and 3rd. Justin Borley actually under threat of being lapped now. And Chuck Labano sure to follow soon. Got 7 minutes left of our season here. Expecting, say, another 25 or so laps before we can call this one. Do you reckon Smith going to try and lap the field here?
I think he can. I think he will. Half a second faster than Moore.
It really is remarkable. I'm wondering whether the other drivers did take tyres. Because we saw the left side go up for Aaron Smith. I'm wondering whether the other drivers thought that they only had time for fuel, potentially. Aaron Smith had sort of done the calculations in advance and knew that there was time to take those right sides and they'd be really helpful for the back end of the race. And it does look like he might be the only one, at least in that lead group, who opted for fresh right side tyres in those pit stops. So there is your master-stroking strategy for Aaron Smith this week.
Yeah, that's incredible. He's within 5 seconds of James Moore.
Oh, and Aaron Smith's had an incident and has pulled it off. Luckily, has not brought out a caution, but went straight on down turn 3, it looks like, and ended up pulling to a stop down against the pit wall. He's towed back to pit lane. We stayed green, and we enter the final 5 minutes of this race here at Southern National.
So Aaron Smith, he is now to where he can be on the same straightaway as James Moore. So he is exiting turn 2. Moore was entering turn 3. There is some traffic between them, but not a lot.
I think the main concern here for Smith is that it seems like the tyres are very good when they're fresh, and then they have quite a long plateau. And the concern is that Smith is starting to reach that plateau on this second set of tyres. Last lap time a 15.6, 3/10 off what he ran just about 20-25 laps ago. So might not have enough left in those tyres to get to Moore and Schlosser. We'll see. There's still about 15 laps left for him to try and close in. He is still running about 3/10 a lap quicker than those cars running second and third.
And Slasher and Moore are together. These guys start battling hard. That's gonna, excuse me, that's gonna slow them down. That's just gonna allow Smith to close in.
Now, how concerned are they really with that? They're like kind of with each other here for that second position. So what if Aaron Smith gets ahead of you both? It's going to be second place either way.
Yeah, for sure. I just think these guys would rather be on the lead lap than being a lap down. But you know what? I don't even think they're really thinking about that. Slosher would love to be the guy that gets second place. Moore would love to be the guy that gets second place. Oh my goodness. Sean Johnson. Maybe a little too close for comfort there.
And we saw this earlier as well. It's not a unusual position to see that 32 car in. Been really staying on the tail end of the lead lap cars ahead. And often it has been Max Schlosser in the 400. Maybe a little bit scary. He looks to the inside, does not manage to scoop the 400 off that inside line. Now, could be a side-by-side for second place. Matt to try and rip it around the outside line here in 3 and 4. But it just doesn't work out on the exit. Gonna be behind at the line once again. Just another shot here in 1 and 2. But you can see it's just not working out. A little bit of contact. Gonna, I'd say, give Moore the advantage. And then here comes Aaron Smith, of course. And look to try and lap both of them if possible, as Sean Johnson tries to get through the pair as well.
Oh my goodness. Sean Johnson, I think, off the apron.
That might be the sign to back it down here. Into the final minute of action here, the 4 laps to go at the line for our championship deciding race. And it looks like it is going to be Matt Schlosser who brings it home. But Aaron Smith looking to try and put a lap on both of them as he cruises to victory here at Southern National.
Slosher, I think, just A-okay holding on for third place right now. Not getting up there.
Calls on 3 different laps here.
Yeah.
You don't want to get into any trouble.
No, not at all. There's no reason to push it if you're Matt Slosher right now. Just hold on to your position. Stay where you're at. Try not to get spun.
White flag in the air for Aaron Smith here. We'll see whether the other 2 drivers, a slow car up against the wall, Derek Paquette. It looks like they will be able to fend off Aaron Smith. He'll win the race here at Southern National. They keep racing for second ahead, I think. James Moore and Matt Schlosser will roll through turns 3 and 4. It'll be Moore that comes home in the second position, but it'll be Matt Schlosser who takes home the championship here in the Road and Plate Summer Series.
Wow. What a race. That was incredible. That Slasher throwing it back. Aaron Smith waiting for the track to clear to do donuts. And I think the best tasting donuts are down in North Carolina.
what a season it's been for Aaron Smith. 5 wins in just 8 starts. We're in a part-time schedule, but taking control of every single race he's hopped into. A great run of form, and like you said, some strategy decisions that have really set him apart from the rest of the field. Well-earned celebrations for the 70 crew.
That was just an absolutely incredible job by Aaron Smith. I really don't think anybody else took tires. I think Smith just taking the 2 right side tires is what really set him apart from everybody else there. We have some interviews. And, typically we would start with our 3rd place finisher. I don't want to do that tonight because of the circumstances of him being the champion. I would save him for last. So, we're going to go ahead and bring in Aaron Smith. Let him celebrate a little bit earlier than normal. And so let's go ahead and talk to the driver of the 70. And Aaron Smith, a sweep of the night. How about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, after that first caution, I had a feeling that taking fuel on that pit stop was the right choice, but the pace laps were so short, I didn't think I got enough in there to make it to the next increment for the green flag pit stop. But I did, apparently, and I had enough for a couple extra laps there. So I'm glad it all worked out for me. I wish I could have gotten those last 2 cars to lap the whole field, but you can't have everything.
Now, I noticed that you had taken right side tires. I don't really recall seeing anybody else take any tires, and the speed difference was there. I mean, was it just the call that you were going to make no matter what, taking 2 tires, or what was kind of the strategy?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how long tires would take relative to the amount of fuel you put in the car, because I think I mentioned it before, but filling up that car like all the way through takes about 2 minutes. So I tried to divide that into however many gallons I needed, which was about 4. It ended up yielding me about a 22-second stop. It was more than enough time to take those right side tires. Could have taken 4 there, but it was just a missed call on my part, but it didn't seem to make much of a difference. It was I was still putting down some pretty good lap times there at the end, and fortunately I had the luxury of saving tires in traffic after that restart, and it all played out in my favor there. Can't complain.
Well, it was a part-time schedule for you this season, but, I mean, the wins that you were able to get make it look like you raced every single race. A ton of wins in just this 6-week season schedule, rather. Just kind of reflecting back, what was your favorite moment?
That's a good question. Well, I really enjoyed sitting in for the Concord race. I didn't get to run it. It was probably my favorite track of the street stock tracks they went to this season. I didn't get to run it because I didn't know if I could send my money in after the race. But yeah, I'd say that sitting in for that and watching it go down was one of the more fun sides of the season for me. It's fun to watch these guys battle it out without stinking up the show. So, yeah, it was a great season. The points battle seemed pretty close. I didn't want to get in the way of that because I knew that Matt and the 2 of them there sitting in 2nd and 3rd were fighting for that championship. And the worst thing I could have done there was stick my nose in the middle of it and put one of them a lap down and not the other. So. It was fun to watch from start to finish, and I'm glad it all worked out for them.
All right. Well, for the final time this season, sponsor shout-outs, who gets it done for the winning banana machine.
As always, I'd like to thank the folks at Road and Plate for putting this championship on. I mentioned at the end of last season that I was going to give them a break, but I kind of lied through my teeth and ended up coming here and running this one. But now I'll actually keep to my word. They'll have the whole season the next season with the ARCA car without me, and then maybe I'll be back for the Gen 4 cars when that rolls around. But I'd like to thank them for continuing to welcome me and putting on good races every week. And I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back on it whenever I show up next.
All right. It's been incredible watching what you do. Go celebrate the win, and we'll see you whenever we see you next.
10-4. Thank you.
That was Aaron Smith, the winner of tonight's events, actually the sprint and the feature. And now, Olivia, you have James Moore.
I sure do, James. Another couple of podiums to finish out the season. Top fives number 8 and 9 for you.
Yeah.
Talk us through that race, how you sort of managed it with those long runs, and I was a little bit curious to ask you, were you hoping to shuffle Matt back into some chaos there?
My friend Megan texted me as soon as the race was over, and she asked if I was trying to do a Lewis in 2016. And absolutely, of course I was.
Hell yeah!
My only hope tonight was that Schlosser had some kind of adversity, but alas, he did not. He ran a perfect race. He did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't pass me, though. He did not pass me. I was committed in that feature. There was no way I was going to let him by. He was going to have to wreck me to get around me, and by God, I held him off. He is just so respectful, though. Shout out Schlosser. He's awesome.
Yeah, you held off Matt there. You also, of course, held off Aaron Smith, who was trying to put a lap on you both. But in the end, it was second place for you on the lead lap. Was there anything? Were you thinking about ever going for the tyres in that pit stop?
I mean, if I'd have known that they only take like 1 gallon's worth of fuel to put on, yeah, I probably would have. But, I just, I'm prepared. I put all my effort into qualifying. And then I missed a shift on the start of the frickin' heat, so that was foobar from the beginning. So, we're all out here just racing for second when Aaron's in the field, And I was able to run second. I kept the car clean. No incident points. I'm happy with that. That's about all you can ask for at Southern National. It's just... It makes that bad finish at Okayama sting all the more. Because I know we have a drop week, but even that considered, that was such an off week for me. And I performed... I'm very happy with my performance this whole season. Second is awesome. 2 wins. What more can I ask for,
Yeah, it was a fantastic showing from you all season long. I want to say congratulations on the performance both throughout the season and especially tonight. Is there anything else you want to say to the fans at home? Now would be the time to do it.
Guys, if you're fighting for the championship battle, just let him go and wreck him. That's really what I needed to do tonight. I really should have, hindsight's 20/20. Should have just shoved him in the fence at some point and took the win. But no, shout out to my fiance Sarah. She's watching. I know. Shout out to my friend Megan. She's watching. Wouldn't stop blowing up my phone though. My wrist was vibrating the entire time because I got a watch on. So that was pretty damn annoying, if I'm honest. Shout out to Velocity Pixel, Sequential Sim Sport, Hollow Valley, everyone that puts up with me and answers all my stupid questions when I ask how to drive these tracks better. It's all so that I can do stuff like this. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for doing all you guys do for us during the commentary during these seasons. We really appreciate it. We're very privileged to have such good broadcasters. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you for putting on such a good show. We will see you over in that season.
Thanks.
That was your second place finisher, James Moore. And now, man of the hour, Joshua Coppenall, is going to be standing by with Summer Series champion, Matt Schlosser.
Hey.
Yeah.
Olivia, how you doing?
Well, I'm not Olivia, but
sorry.
how are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I think the better question is, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, that was a fun race. Yeah, sorry for call. I thought I heard Olivia. My bad. So I.
Oh,
I
you did.
Thought
You did.
I thought Olivia was talking, but yeah, I'm doing well. That was an awesome race. Fun times out there. I like Southern National. It's a good track for sure.
So I look at the official points that have been updated by Dustin Bali, and I see it's 8 points. 8 points is the gap between yourself and James Moore. That's the final points of the season, and so 2 wins, 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s. What a season it was for you, and you took the championship.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thrilled for that. That was my goal for this season. After the first few races, and I was near the top, I was like, I think I might have a chance to go for it, and yeah, it worked out. I mean, I was able to put together some good, consistent results. I only really had one bad race, which helped me avoid any problems in the points. But yeah, it's awesome to pull that off. This was such a cool series with the mix between the two cars, and this is a really great league with a lot of great drivers. So it's honored to pull off the championship and excited to be able to do it too.
Now, you did just mention, the 2 different cars, and I actually wanted to ask you about that as well. Normally the way things are ran here is it's one car, which has been the ARCA car. That's the only car you guys run throughout the entire season. This one, it was back and forth between the Formula 4 car and the street stock. So, what kind of difference was it like to get accustomed to now one season, but driving 2 different cars over a span of 6 weeks?
It was a challenge for sure. I mean, you kind of had to obviously be dynamic with with your driving, and if there's only one car in a league, you can get really comfortable with it. But honestly, I race as many different types of cars and tracks as I possibly can, and I think it helped me just be able to adapt. I've had plenty of experience in both cars, and I try to race everything on the service as much as I can. So it helps me feel a little more comfortable than maybe I would have if I had just only focused on one discipline or something like that. So yeah, it was, and they're both of them are low, slidey or roundy, not as high, obviously not high downforce, just kind of those kind of cars, so they had a little bit of similarities, but not, that might be the only thing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I loved it. I hope we do another series like it in a few months or something.
Well, it was a really fun season to see play out throughout the course of it all. But feature event, it was really close. I mean, between yourself and Aaron Smith at one point, and then yourself and James Moore towards the end of the race. We kind of had an idea of the point situation, thanks to Olivia. Otherwise, I would have had no clue at all.
I'm going to be honest, I did not take the drops into account, so I'm very lucky that it played out. We got the same result either way.
But, what was going through your mind as far as, did you kind of know the situation? Did you know if I finish here, I'm safe? How was that playing out for you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the drop and how it would be calculated either. So I was like, well, I had one bad race, so I know that that's going to get dropped. It's not like all my races were perfect and I was about to lose a ton of points on the drop. But yeah, I knew, I tried not to overthink it. I was like, I think if I can finish on the podium in both races, that's going to be more than enough. And even if I managed a top 5 in both races, the people near me would have had to won or finish second in both. So I mean, I knew who I needed to be in front of, and like in the sprint, once it was just Aaron in front of me, I knew I kind of could not worry too much, because he was not directly in the points after missing a few races. But yeah, it definitely changed the way I raced though a little bit. Like I didn't, you kind of had to back out of some battles and take things easy, because if you just take an unnecessary risk and get crashed, it's, you'll kick yourself for that. So you have to do a little points racing, and the pit strategy was kind of strange too. Like I wanted to pit under that caution to get the fuel, but I was too worried about getting lapped or getting a black flag because there were cars that were kind of behind that were in the crash, and iRacing was telling me to let them pass, and I didn't want to mess with any of that either. So yeah, I tried to be as smooth and cautious as I could without sacrificing speed, and it just I think I probably would have finished about where I finished anyway. Even if I had just gone in not caring or not going for points. So it worked out okay. It definitely adds an extra factor to your brain while you're driving to try to think about the points and where to put your car to avoid problems and things like that.
Well, sponsors, shout outs. Who gets it done for that championship winning 400 machine?
Yeah, thank you to everybody in the league. It's been such a cool season, and looking forward to the next regular season with the road and plate car. So shout out to everyone in the league and Dustin for managing the league. Thanks to you all at JCTV. Congrats to everyone, or congrats to Aaron for his wins today. He did a really nice job. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, it's a fantastic season. Congrats to you. And we'll see you next time out.
All right. Thank you.
And that was Matt Slosher, your champion of the Summer Series. It was a great season. Olivia, thank you for coming on board for quite a bit of these races. So I always appreciate it. What are your thoughts as how the season played out?
I just think it really showed how important consistency is in a championship like this, especially as you sort of go between the two different cars that we're dealing with here. You've really got to be on your game to make the most of those situations. And ultimately, the top two in the points, Moore had 9 top 5s on the season. Matt had 10 in 12 starts. So that sort of consistency, just being up at the front every time, no matter what happens around you, that is really what champions are made of. Congratulations to Matt Schlosser for taking home that championship here.
Yeah, it was incredible. He did an incredible job as well, and he definitely deserved it. He earned it, and looked really good right from the start. So Road and Plate's going to be off until September 11th, and it will be back to the traditional road and plate style racing with, I believe it's going to be Daytona for the season opener. September 11th, like I said, it'll be right here on JCTV. Tomorrow, special stage race tomorrow?
It is. It is at the IRP Rallycross course for the penultimate round of the season. That is a very tricky one to watch, so expecting a lot of carnage over there. And then, of course, we are back with both the season finale for Road and Plate as well as the return of the BSR Grid Network Truck Series next weekend.
So that'll be fun to watch as we've got plenty of action coming up on JCTV still. That does it for us here at Southern National. It's a great night overall. One caution. These guys did a great job keeping it clean, putting on a great show while they were at it. And so, big shout out to Matt Slosher on winning the championship. Congrats to him once again. And thank you to the fans, the drivers, and the admin team that makes all this possible. And on behalf of the entire outstanding crew at JCTV and Olivia Hayward, I am Joshua Copperl signing off, saying so long, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.